Imagine you are building a company, you're building a downline, and you're asked to go to war. And across the ditch, on the other side, this person that you're wanting to go to war with, you go, wait a minute, they're in my downline. I don't want to hurt them, they're in my downline.
What in the actual...
Hello, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new. We're diving right into it today. We've got a lot to talk about when it comes to Scentsy.
Oh, that's my favorite.
If you're new here, let me give you a quick rundown. Scentsy is what is known as an MLM, a multi-level marketing company, also known as a network marketing company, social selling company, party plan company. Some would even refer to this type of business model as a pyramid scheme, and that is because they currently do run off of a recruitment-based business model, meaning when somebody joins Scentsy, when somebody becomes a fragrance consultant, they will make more money depending on how many more people they recruit to their team. Now, these types of businesses do typically have products that they sell, and Scentsy's products of choice are scented products. So we're talking candles. They are originally known for their wickless candles, which are the warmers that you plug into the wall that have a light bulb and a dish on top so you could put your wax and make your space smell however you want it to smell. They have since expanded into laundry care. Like I said, they have candles, they have kids products such as scented stuffed animals. They have a bunch of things. And recently, over the past year or two, they have very noticeably, but not admittedly, been having some issues as far as sales go and recruiting go. From what I've observed and in my opinion, and also allegedly from what I hear from the inside. Now, the reasons I have some more connections to the inside of Scentsy than not, I was in Scentsy for almost 4 years collectively. So I was drinking the Kool-Aid. I was a heavy Kool-Aid drinker with a lot of the people that are now seeing what's happening. So anyway, what's happening is, like I said, sales and recruitment are down. Last year, they made major changes to their compensation plan, making it look like they could potentially be moving toward an affiliate model instead of a recruitment-based model. Now, again, that's allegedly and in my opinion, but I have been saying that is what they are probably going to be doing since before they even made announcements last January. So they are continuing to move toward things that will aid in them flipping to an affiliate business model instead of a recruitment-based business model, meaning people who sign on to be an affiliate with Scentsy will get a cut of whatever they sell, but they will not get any bonuses for recruiting people, for team sales, or anything like that. It will strictly be based on their sales only. Now, this, of course, is affecting superstar directors within Scentsy. And if you're not familiar with the ranking within Scentsy, superstar directors are at the top of the line. They are the consultants with the largest teams. They get the biggest bonuses. They are privy to more information than the regular consultant that is just working on sales and not recruiting, allegedly. So these superstar directors are trying to spin things, in my opinion, in a lot of cases regarding what we're talking about in today's video, to make it look like all of these things are good for them and their business. Because if they lose their downline, they will lose the majority of their monthly Scentsy paycheck. With all of that said, that is a little background, a little context on what's happening here. A lot has been going down.
Yeah, that's putting it lightly.
What we've already covered is the PR boxes. They were sending out big free PR boxes to TikTok, Instagram, YouTube influencers who are micro influencers, yes, but they are still influencers. And that caused a big stir within Scentsy because there are creators on YouTube even that review wax and do things like this on their channel. And they are Scentsy consultants, and they have been Scentsy consultants for a long time. And they have never once received a free PR box full of Universal or Disney products. This past week, there were layoffs, a lot of layoffs, and the layoffs are very telling for the direction of Scentsy as a multi-level marketing company. We're not going to get into that part yet, but if you're here and you just want to jump around, this is one of the Scentsy hot hodgepodge videos that I discussed I would be putting out, just because everything within Scentsy is so fluid right now. Things are changing quickly. I heard there is a Zoom meeting with one of the superstar directors coming up. There's a lot of team meetings going on.
They've called an emergency meeting.
And this video is going up in 2 days. So there are chapters in the description or on the timeline. You can skip around to the topic you want to hear more about, or just skip ahead. Whatever you want to do, I'm here for it. We're gonna start with one of the top directors.
Maybe you remember her.
This is like Anick. I think we heard you were saying. It's not about Scentsy.
It's about our 3 years away.
Yeah, and why we were here, and really to answer questions, because we know that people might have questions about what we've been doing or why we've been doing it.
Or why? Yeah.
The individual that is hosting this call is a very tippity top leader in Scentsy. So for whatever reason, she was hosting this call. Not sure why. They are affiliated through Scentsy. It's really bizarre. My thought is, are they trying to pull in Scentsy consultants into Mormonism? Because while it's slimy and I don't agree with it, it makes sense that they would do this call in this form on YouTube publicly with a top leading Scentsy consultant that is well known with a large audience. Why else would you do this? This is the same individual. She also was on Big Brother in Canada.
Please cast your vote to evict.
I vote for Anick.
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 Anick. Anick.
Anick.
Anick.
Anick.
Anick. Anick.
Anick.
Anick, you are the first to be evicted from the Big Brother Canada house.
Yeah, that sucks.
So you may know her from there too. Anyway, I'm probably not going to play this entire video, but she had Orville Thompson's brother, who Orville is the current owner of Scentsy, along with his wife, Heidi. Chuck is Orville's brother, who is in charge of now basically all things consultant culture. So our friend Anick, she had this individual come and talk to her team, and they talked about anti-mlm, and they talked about the PR packages. Probably, again, not going to play this whole video, but I do want to react to some things from it. So let's get the into it already, shall we?
Okay, welcome everyone. I am so pumped. I'm so pumped. Dude, I started my Zoom. Oh, I'm Anick Jerva. I'm a superstar director. I'm going into my 12th year in August 15th. I've done nothing for 12 years in my whole entire life.
Are you bragging about that?
I get way too bored of absolutely everything. And I'm not bored of Scentsy. I'm not bored. I'm actually been feeling really motivated, really excited about my Scentsy business starting January. So I'm super pumped. I'm super pumped that you guys are here. So in the Scentsy world, the more the better. And us leaders, we don't just hoard our people. We don't hoard the things that we're doing. The SSDs are working so good together right now. And you can probably, I don't know if you guys have been seeing that the SSDs have been more active online. Have you guys noticed that? Yes. Okay, cool.
I wonder why. Let's talk about SSDs for a second. Those are the superstar directors. They just call them SSDs if you're not familiar with the lingo. I did say as a blanket statement that I do think that superstar directors within Scentsy are more privy to a lot of information that the everyday consultant, the certified consultant, the essential consultant, the lead consultant even, they're not privy to. They don't get the same information. I do still believe that's true. However, I want to add something to that statement. I do not think that every superstar director is treated equally by the higher ups. And when I say the higher ups, I mean Heidi, Orville, Dan, and Chuck. I don't think that every single superstar director is treated equally. I don't think that Chuck would go into any superstar director's Zoom call with their team and do this. I think there's a group of superstar directors that are privy to more information, whether they knew about the PR boxes or whether they knew that the layoffs were coming and they were getting rid of the entire consultant training team.
Wait, excuse me, what'd you say?
More on that in a few minutes. I also wanted to say that this call was held before the layoffs, but after everybody found out about the PR. So it was kind of that in-between spot. And now there's a whole new issue they have to address because of the layoffs. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's get back into this interesting situation.
We're all working together and we realize that we have to work together to make this work. So I'm super pumped. So I decided, like a lot of you leaders, you do these trainings and You know, my group, I think, is at like 2,800 people. And I'll have like 5 people show up on my team training, you know? And sometimes it's exhausting. So instead of me not doing it, instead of it being exhausting and not doing it, I decide that I'm going to just share it with everybody.
How does that even make sense?
That's not like a
I'm gonna show you moment.
that's like a
I need to sit back and assess my business situation moment.
there's something going on. And that is a great picture of people who join MLMs, even people who make it all the way to the top. They have no fucking idea what they're doing. Because when you have that little of an amount of participation on your team, even though it's supposed to be their own business, it's so twisted. When you have that amount of people not participating, there need to be some other conversations happening. Not, well, I'm just going to hold trainings for even more people then. Screw my team. I'm going to open it up to everybody's teams. How? What? They're not business minded at all in most cases, which is a very big problem because then we fall into these situations where these SSDs are from the outside looking in, looking like Chicken Little.
The sky is falling!
They're like, I have to find any positive thing I could say about Scentsy and put it out there now so that nothing happens to my precious little business. It's so wild.
Just realize that every other Tuesday, so not this Tuesday coming, the following Tuesday, I do a Zoom. It's exact same Zoom link. Sometimes I have guests, sometimes I don't have guests. Like Chuck is supposed to be on today's call, and that's maybe why I have a bunch of you guys here, but you guys might just be stuck with me, so sucks to be you. But no, he'll eventually come on the call, maybe today or maybe next time, but he'll come. But no, so so I'm sorry if, because he did ask me to remind him earlier, but today I had like a chicken that is like not doing good, and then I got my rabbit. Today was just a crazy day. So where was I talking about? Anyway, I come on, so now I'm like, I'm gonna just invite everybody. I'm just gonna invite everybody. And sometimes in your business, when you are a leader and your team isn't working, like, I'm sure we can all relate to that. Your team's not working. So you're feeling exhausted. You're feeling, depleted.
Did she say deflated? Deflated and defeated in one word? Because I kind of fucking love it. That's a new one, guys. By the end of the day on my filming days, I am just feeling deflated, I'm deflated. I'm going to bed.
And you're like, nobody's doing anything. You're going to go find people. And you're going to put your head down, you're going to start working your business, because that's what I'm doing. And if they want to follow me, they want to follow me. If not, that's not my problem. So,
except it is your problem because it affects your paycheck, doesn't it?
But then what you're going to see is that you're going to create this vibration. You're going to create this momentum of working your business. It's all going to work out. Okay? I promise you.
How can you promise that?
Because when we're not working, everything's energy. Kaya. Seriously, you want to say hi? Hello, everyone. My name is Kaya. Hello. So when you are working your business, everything in life is energy. You are either moving, grooving, even if you're staying still, you're doing something. There's no neutral in life, okay, guys? You're never not thinking of something. Your thoughts are a frequency. Your actions are a frequency. Your when you're eating, frequency. When you're thinking, frequency. Music, frequency. What you see, frequency.
She operates on many frequencies at once.
And it's just like, what frequency are you connected to? What radio channel are you connected to? If I would tune into your radio channel that's going on in your brain, what would I hear?
Oh, girl, you don't want to go there.
It is an absolute shit show.
What I hear? Man, today's going to be a great day. Today's going to be a great day. I'm going to go find some customers. I'm going to recruit. I'm a recruiting rock star. Man, I attract money. Money's just coming my way. Abundance is coming my way. Great things are coming my way. Is that what I would hear? Like, I'm amazing. I'm awesome. I'm worthy. Or would I hear something like, oh gosh, life's hard. Oh, I'm having a really crappy day. Oh, it's so hard to find a customer. Oh man, I haven't recruited anybody lately. Oh, my team's not really showing up. Okay, so just be aware. Be aware of the frequency you are tuned into. The beauty is that you can change channels.
No, you cannot just change channels. This is where the toxic positivity comes in, sweetheart. Sometimes the negative energy that is taking up your brain needs to be addressed. It's a situation that needs to be addressed. It's a task that you need to do. It's something that needs to be addressed. Most times in MLMs, when you're having thoughts like that, there's something that needs to be addressed. And the something that usually needs to be addressed is the exit from the MLM, because you're just losing money and pouring it into something that is not even giving you anything but apparent stress in return.
You can change channels. And if you are here, it's telling me that you want to change channels.
Who changed my channel?
It's telling me that you're ready and willing to do the work. When you show up, you go up.
Barf.
I forgot who was had the little notepad there, but that's a good one right there to write that down there in your notebook.
Yeah, sure. If you need motivation to get out of bed in the morning and go to work, tell yourself when you show up, you go up. But to tell yourself that when your business is visibly failing,
Allegedly,
it's not going to fix anything.
When you show up, you go up. Whoever shows up will go up because you're telling the universe, you're telling God or whatever you believe in, whoever created these frequencies, that this is what you want. And I realized that going back into my business, getting back into it, my sales aren't necessarily coming from the people I'm talking to. They're coming from elsewhere. So you have to tune into successful people. You have to tune into successful mindset. Successful people don't wake up thinking they're nobody. They don't start waking up thinking this is going to be a really crappy day today. They don't thinking like I don't deserve success. They don't have those thoughts in their brain. And you shouldn't either, because it's a lie. It is a lie. You are so worthy. You are so much more worthy than you could absolutely imagine. If you are alive during these turbulent times, I'm telling you right now, you are one of the most special beings that has ever created. Because these are the hardest times, I believe, that's ever happened. And we need people like you to bring light to the world. We need people like you to shine your light. And if you're watching this video, if you're watching this call, this is telling me that you want to be that person.
Scentsy's not the way to do that. Joining and staying in a multi-level marketing company or an affiliate business is not the way to make positive change in the world. It's so far from it. Go volunteer at a soup kitchen, go volunteer at a homeless shelter, go help somebody that's needing help on the sidewalk. Go do something good. Don't buy into a multi-level marketing company with hopes of making money and lie to yourself saying,
I'm doing this to better the world.
It's a fragrance company. Relax.
And I'm giving you the permission to do it. Some of you guys are really afraid to step outside your comfort zone. Some of you guys are afraid to really be your full potential. And what are we really afraid of? What are we really afraid of? We're afraid of what people are going to view us, how people are going to view us. We're afraid of people thinking we're bugging them. We're afraid of what people think of us. Think about that. We are afraid of what other people are thinking about us. First of all, it's none of your business. Write that down. That's a good one.
You don't have to write that down. It's very easy to remember.
You've got to understand, these people aren't idiots.
It's none of your business what people think about you or how people think about you. It's none of your business. The other thing is, do you think when someone sends me a message like, hey, Anick, I have this new business opportunity that I'd like to talk to you about. Do you think I'm like, ew, gross. You're so annoying. No. Do you know why? Because I'm a successful person, I appreciate what she's doing. I may not respond because you can't pull me from Scentsy. I'm committed to Scentsy. I'm a Scentsy lifer. I'm loyal to the end, man.
Scentsy lifer sounds pretty cult-like. in my opinion. I just don't get it. And I'm saying this again as somebody who was on the inside. I have had many conversations over the past few weeks with a lot of people I was not expecting to have conversations with. Sitting back and like just watching the people that are still not getting it, I'm like, how are they not seeing it at this point? I feel for them a little bit. They're that in that when this all comes crumbling down further than it already has, allegedly, and in my opinion, they're going to look like fucking idiots. And I'm sorry, but it's the truth.
I appreciate that. So think about that. When people are annoyed with you working your business, it's a way that life is showing you who shouldn't be in your life.
No. Oh my God, anybody who speaks up against your Scentsy business now has to be cut out of your life.
No! God, please, no!
Please don't do that. In most cases, when people are bringing up a concern they have about your Scentsy business or any MLM business or any business that you start, most times the people who bring up concerns about said business just are looking out for your best interest, okay? Do not cut them out of your life. Do not do that, please. If anything, just say, I'm not talking about this with you, okay? If you don't want to talk about that with them, just say that. You don't have to have that conversation again. But do not eliminate them from your entire life.
These people don't deserve your energy. So you keep bugging them, or you ignore them, or you move on. Nobody who is vibrating on a high frequency, nobody who's working their dreams, working their business, who are go-getters would ever be annoyed with you messaging them.
When you're running anything, when you're running a YouTube page, when you're running a Facebook group, when you're running an online business, when you're doing anything, it is your life. Your life revolves around it. Your work time revolves around that thing. It's not like that for everybody else. So they don't need to have their life revolve around Scentsy. They don't need to buy Scentsy and only use Scentsy in their house. This is a weird way to weed out your friends and family. Please don't do that.
Okay? And also, it's like the 1%, man. It's the 1%. But I know there's some people that are such in a low frequency vibration that for some reason, you know, it's probably childhood trauma where you just think nobody really likes you and you're not worthy, that you literally just attract those people. So then you go out and you start working your business and all.
She just diagnosed everybody with childhood trauma. Sit down. Sit down. Have several seats.
All you're feeling is that. These people just creating this negative frequency. You need to start having affirmations. Start saying affirmations daily. You need to pray. Pray that, you know, whoever you believe in, me, I believe in God, you know, I believe in my Savior, Jesus Christ. I asked Jesus to help me. I need customers, Jesus. I need to pay my bills. My check was a little too scary, and to be completely frank and authentic, and this is not typical, and see income disclosure on the YouTube video because not everybody makes Scentsy money with Scentsy.
She's been doing this for how long, and she still doesn't know how to properly say what she's making, which she shouldn't be saying at all anyway.
Because some people don't work their business. Just kind of when you go to the gym, just because you got a membership doesn't mean you're going to start like having all these beautiful, amazing muscles. No, you got to actually go to the machine and push and push and push. And then even when you're at the machine, guys, it gets easy. And then you get tested and you have to go heavier.
This is twisted. Like, she is just talking in circles. It is a word salad because she doesn't know what to do. This is a Chicken Little moment.
The sky is falling.
And then you have to push, you know, bigger muscles. So the same thing with your business. If you are scared of doing something, it tells me that you should go out and do it. If you're not doing lives, if you're not messaging a bunch of people, reminding them what's going on with Scentsy, you're not following up with your customers, you're not meeting new people, you're not like trying a new, you know, this month I'm going to join this club. I'm going to go check this out. Or there's a dance studio club, you know, salsa. I'm going to go check it out.
Maybe they don't want to be gross humans that go infiltrate a beautiful community of people wanting to learn how to salsa dance with their Scentsy bullshit, trying to sell to them.
It's despicable.
I hate when they encourage people to go and join actual communities of people that like things and encourage you to go and infiltrate them and get them all to join your team and buy Scentsy. No, stop.
I'm going to meet new people. A lot of people, you know, they do Scentsy full time and then they get out of the workforce. And it was a workforce that was like bringing you lots of customers. So sometimes it's not a good idea. Maybe get a part-time job. Maybe volunteer. You know, we got to get outside our comfort zone because there's customers all around us and there's so many people that still don't know Scentsy. And there's Marketplace. People are like utilizing Marketplace and it's really working. So my check was $4,800, which sounds great, and it is. But like, I live in a house, and it's literally $4,600 to pay for all my bills, you know?
Girl, that was $4,800. And between all of that rambling, if you missed it, if you forgot before she rambled, she did say that she didn't have a good month. She was praying for customers. How'd you make almost $5,000? Is it your team? There are questions that need answers. And she's praying for sales. She's telling you her sales are down and she's making $5,000. It's very telling. That's all I'm saying, okay?
But then what happened? Anick's hustling now. Anick's working her business now. So I'm not going to see it as a negative, you know, and it's not all about money. Like, I truly, truly believe that life is all about frequency and energy. And because I believe in, you know, something greater than myself, I know he has a plan for me and I know he has a plan for you. And I don't want this to be too of this, but whatever, it is what it is. And you don't have to listen if you don't want to listen. But again, it's the Anick show right now.
This is so embarrassing.
It's scattered. It's a mess.
So, you know, sometimes when you go live, we're worried about what other people are going to think. They're watching you. It's your profile. It is your real estate. The more eyeballs see what is doing, the more chances people are going to buy. Okay? Everyone around you needs to know that you're a Scentsy consultant. Okay. Don't apologize for who you are. Okay? We're done doing this. All right. Most of us are old enough. I just turned 40. I'm not going to apologize for who I am. You're not going to apologize for who you are. We don't apologize for who we are. If you're doing something that you love and you're passionately doing something that you love, then you keep doing it. And we're not going to care about what other people think because they're not paying your hydro bill. They're not paying your mortgage.
Hydro bill. That's so fun. I love hearing different places say different things. I'm pretty sure she's still living in Canada, so it must be. I think I have Canadians that hang out with me. Is it a hydro bill? You guys don't call it water bill? Because here we call it water bill.
That sounds lame.
Hydro bill sounds so much cooler though. I'd be so much more excited to be like, I have to pay my hydro bill.
They're not paying. So why would they get to dictate how you spend your time, energy? Guys, the reality is people are making a ton of money with Scentsy. And why can't you? Why can't I? I know I can. I know the possibilities out there.
Are people making a ton of money? I'm still waiting for the income disclosure statement for 2025 to come out. It's still pretty early for it to be out. Let me check one more time. I've been checking, but I'm pretty sure it will be all over the world once it does come out. From what I hear, it's not going to be good. Yeah, they usually release it around April. So we still got another month. Damn it. I want to know. I think they're making changes. I'm going to call this, okay? I think they're making big changes to make announcements before or right around the time of the income disclosure for 2025. Right at the most convenient time for that to drop. To be like, well, numbers were down, so we got to make some changes. This is just my opinion of what is coming, my predictions for what is coming. It's just timing is really lining up here for what a lot of us have been saying has been coming down the pipeline.
And what I love is that I also later on, well, soon, okay. So I need you guys to start realizing that that's a possibility and that is reality. Just like tuning into your radio, you need to tune in to that you are living in abundance. I want you for 5 minutes every day to sit there and just be so excited. Close your eyes and be so excited about all the opportunities that Scentsy has given us. You literally need to feel that frequency, excited, like, oh my gosh, my phone is like blowing up. People want some Scentsy. Oh my gosh, people want to join.
This is giving 2020 when we were all losing our ever-loving fucking minds and reading The Secret and watching The Secret and believing that all we had to do was think about money in our bank account and it would show up. It's 2025. No, it's 2026 and we know better.
When you know better, you do better.
That feeling that people wanted, someone wants to join your team, that feeling? Feel that feeling. I know this sounds hocus pocus, but I'm telling you right now, you're going to attract more of it. And there's a girl, my upline, Julie Omnick. I told her, I said, Julie, go outside and feel the feelings and just demand for a recruit, and no word of a lie, within 48 hours, she got a recruit.
It's witchcraft.
She's like, Anick, it worked. I'm like, I'm telling you, if we really realize that we kind of live in a matrix where your brain, this is scientifically proven, your brain has no idea what's real and what's not. What?
They're so desperate for recruits. They're not even taking into effect,
does this even make sense to have this person join my team?
When you're really running an actual business and looking for people to join your team, you're usually making sure they're qualified. And most people who join an MLM, like Scentsy, are not qualified to be running a successful business. They're not qualified to run a successful business. They're not qualified to sell. They're not qualified to recruit because they were never trained in any of those things. Recruiting more people, sure, fine. But if they're just going to sit there and do nothing, then it was a waste anyway. Because when you're recruiting onto an MLM, the reason you're recruiting is to make more money, like we talked about. They'll tell you they want to make people's lives better and change lives. But in my opinion, it's to make money. If you recruit people who are not going to do anything, who just join for the kit, then what the was the point in the first place? You're just collecting people to say, oh, I recruited so many people this month. But they're going to fall off in 3 months anyway because they're not going to meet the requirements to stay active as a consultant. This is the cycle of the MLM. That's why so many people fail, allegedly, but also according to the FTC. So I guess it's factual. But they like to come after us and say it's not factual because they can find loopholes to jump through because they have the DSA to help them do that. It's such a circle, guys. It's such a mess. But there are some changes for the betterment. Slow and steady, I guess. We have so much to fucking cover, and this video is getting really long already, so I'm just going to cut to the part where Chuck comes in. I do know that also Erin reacted to this, I believe, live. So if you want to see the whole thing, she has that on her channel as well. So Erin Bees, if you're not familiar. If you're watching my channel, odds are you know who Erin is. Okay, here's Chuck.
Okay, Chuck.
Man.
I'm so excited that you're here.
How is everybody doing?
Oh.
I am super excited to be here too. That was quite an intro. You kind of summed up everything that's always been on my mind, but somewhat really a lot recently. I got to try to remember to look at my camera because I end up looking at you over here and anyway.
Chuck,
so first of all, go ahead.
We have 55 people that came on this call.
Oh, fantastic.
I know. And I bet you most of them came to watch you and then you weren't on earlier. And I said, well, you guys are stuck with me. And then you joined. So it
was at 4:30, right?
Oh, I don't know. I might have said that.
4:30 was when I was supposed to come, right?
No, I think I said 6. Oh, 4. I think I said 4.
In other words, you're late.
Oh, so it would have been 4 my time.
That's
well,
okay.
I will say I was talking with Orville, so.
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Oh, well then all is forgiven. He was talking to Dad.
I'm so pumped.
I'm glad I'm on here. No, it is just, it's awesome. I love what you said about you have to train your brain. I love neuroscience. I'm not a neuroscientist. It's not, but I do a lot of brain study because I've always been fascinated by it. There is an excellent book that I would suggest. You can download it for free. It's called As a Man Thinketh. So thinketh. So he thinks. It was written in the late 1800s by, back before TV and video games where people actually sat down and thought.
Some of us do think, and a lot of us that do think know that Scentsy is a mess and you shouldn't join. Anyway, so this book is called As a Man Thinketh, and it's written by James Allen in 1903. It was a self-help book that argues a person's character, circumstances, and destiny are direct results of their thoughts. So it's a manifesting book. It's basically like The Secret from the sounds of it.
And it goes through, basically it talks about the effect of everything that our thoughts have. Effect on our health, effect on our success, effect on our failure. And it's a little old-timey English.
I do think that how we view things and how we think of ourselves does have an impact on what we can do, what we can accomplish as a person. However, I think you have to have belief that you can do said thing. You can achieve said goal. You can make a certain amount of money. You have to have that belief in order to take the steps to do the thing. But you can take the steps to do the thing and achieve that goal and still not have the belief. Like, you don't have to be all rainbows and butterflies all of the time necessarily to reach success. There are going to be times that require a little bit of negativity. It's how we evaluate what's going wrong and what we need to fix.
Sometimes when you read, it's not terribly clear. It is a thinking book. It's not a read through, and it's one where you could take one chapter, a couple of paragraphs, and spend a week contemplating it and seeing how you bring it into your mind. Yeah, the author is James Allen, and it's in public domain, so you can buy it, but you can also just download it. And,
yeah, I just added the link to a YouTube video. It's like a 1 hour complete audio with text YouTube link so that we can also watch.
And one of the things that is in there is that I've always lived by because it's been super uncomfortable. He says that circumstance, he says it this way, but what it really means, he says, circumstance do not make the man, they reveal him to himself. And what that means is we don't achieve, our circumstances that we're around currently are not what are causing our actions. Our actions have created the circumstances in which we find ourselves.
Let's unpack that.
You guys probably have noticed I've done a ton of self-work over the past 2-3 years, right? And in that self-work, I've had to learn a lot about narcissism. If you've had the pleasure of having to learn about narcissism, I probably don't have to say more, but if you have had the privilege to not have to learn about narcissism, it is classic for somebody to say, you caused this. This is your fault. Your actions caused this, and it's your fault. And that is what I'm getting from that. And maybe it's just my trauma, but it certainly sounds along the same lines. And it also sounds really good as positioning to say, well, the consultants didn't do enough, so now we have to get rid of the MLM business model and move to just affiliate. Allegedly, just an observation.
And he told a story about a kid that was, I think he was 8 years old, that worked in a mine. And all the time he was in that mine, he was dreaming about other things. He was working in this mine, and he eventually became an extremely successful, one of the really rich guys from the 1800s. But what it said was the mine didn't make him. His mind grew so much in everything he was doing that he could no longer stand to be in the mine. He couldn't take it anymore. But it was because he grew inside, and then his circumstances presented themselves. So you're absolutely right, Anick. It starts with what's in your head.
You outgrow a lot of things in life. Most things, actually. Your job position, your living situation, maybe your relationships. You outgrow a lot of things. This is nothing that's unheard of. Him outgrowing his current work at the mine, not new.
Now, another part that goes along with... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, have you seen the movie on Netflix called The Chess Queen?
No.
Okay. It's so good, and it kind of goes along with this in a different way-ish. Her father wanted to have an experiment on her kids. They came from Belgium. It was a communist country at the time. And he was just like, I'm going to homeschool my kids, and I'm just going to show them chess. He said he learned all about the greats, all the greats. And none of them what they discover is that geniuses aren't born, they are created. And just like us, leaders aren't born, they are created. And they're created by our mindset. They're created in our belief system. When I see somebody who's up on stage, when I was a lead consultant, and
how much coffee you had?
She hit up Wendy for her prepara, didn't she?
they were talking about their story and they were saying that they accomplished this. I didn't look at it being like, oh, I could never do that. I'm like, what? That's a possibility? That's a possibility. What's the difference between her and I? There is no difference between her and I. If she can do it, I can do it. So I had that mindset. So I went with it. So the Queen of Chess, it's a really cool story. And you'll learn that consistency and work ethic will bypass talent every day.
Depending. If you are consistent and you have good work ethic, but you have no people skills whatsoever, you're going to fail miserably at any sales position, including but not limited to multi-level marketing companies.
So even if you are super talented, but you have the drive, you are consistent, and you are dedicated to your dream, you will outwork talent every single time.
Again, not true. Not true. Hardly ever. You have to know what you're doing. You have to be skilled in something, especially today with AI threatening everything we do.
Yeah. And your life is a series of micro decisions, right? Every day it's just, and then you look at people you admire and you go, in the same situation, what would they do? What would they do different? Like me, I find myself caught up too much in, well, if you can rise above it, I do a lot of social media because that's where you guys are at, and that's sort of where I'm at. But I'm very purposeful in watching what the algorithms are doing to me. And so I, on purpose, go places that I've been pretty good at training my brain over the years, mainly based on that book. And I'm frightfully scared of allowing something in that then you think about it again and you think about it again. Another part of the book, it says, men do not come to the almshouse or the jail by the fate of a mere circumstance. You don't go rob a store. You don't go have an affair. You don't go start a business on a whim.
No, that's true.
All of those things are
little
thoughts
steps
in your head, and then the opportunity presents itself and you can't not take it. And that works negative and it also works positive. But anyway, the other part is we're surrounded by people trying. I really admired the founders of Amway.
Did you see this? Look on my new phone. What the hell just happened?
I really admired the founders of Amway. Somebody change. Of course you admire the founders of Amway, Chuck. Of course you do.
Chuck, it's a flip phone. Because the algorithm, I was doom scrolling and it started affecting me. Chuck, I had such a beautiful day. I invited like a church family over for dinner and I just felt so good. They went home. I went to bed and for 2 hours I started scrolling. I thought I was going to throw up. It affected me physically so bad. I'm like, okay, Anick, you couldn't, it was a train. I was just seeing a train wreck after another train wreck. And I'm like, okay, this is not good.
That is true. I will agree with her 1,000,000%. It's the reason I removed myself from TikTok and from Facebook. I am back on Facebook, but very limited. I'm only on Facebook for research purposes for the most part. Instagram is my safe space. I have it set up like there's nothing that hurts me or my soul when I'm scrolling through there. And if there is, I'm like, please don't show me this ever again. But I've conditioned it pretty well, my algorithm on Instagram.
Make your point, Sam.
I have seen so many people just stepping away from social media altogether. They're just removing their entire online presence. And I am so here for it. I can't do that, but I'm here for anyone else doing it. As long as you can still log in and watch YouTube because, I want you to hang out with me.
So I'm doing a 1 month no doom scrolling and I got this phone and because I need to switch things up. Like I don't like to complain. So I'm going to do something about it. because like you, I have to be careful. My algorithm like knows like, ooh, this is, you know, this, she loves all the conspiracies and all the bad things. I don't, but you know, it just shows up, and then I'm so interested, like, oh my gosh, is this true? You know? And we are in control though. We can say nope.
Yeah, one of the things that I see some comments about that. I don't know if Dexter and Bertie Yeager there, but anyway, it was a great training ground. It's where I learned a lot of the books. But anyway, the founder, Rich DeVos, wrote an incredible book called Compassionate Capitalism.
Okay.
And it talks about how capitalism is so, when done right, and he likened it to he was given a talk and he said, you know, imagine you are building a company, you're building a downline, and you're asked to go to war. And across the ditch on the other side, this person that you're wanting to go to war with, you go, wait a minute, they're in my downline. I don't want to hurt them. They're in my downline.
What in the actual fuck?
And so you start looking at, as you build an organization and you start having mutually beneficial, you give to them, they provide for you. A lot of hate can leave the world. And this reliance on them for your success, their reliance on you for their success, oftentimes can overcome some of those negative feelings that might come your way.
That escalated so quickly. We're talking about world peace in Scentsy. Like, what the fuck even is this?
But anyway, one of the things that I was taught early on, and it really formed my life. I obviously wasn't. I was okay at Amway. It just wasn't my path at the time, and it's a long story. But there were some inconsistencies with my way of thinking, with my upline, and the way they thought about other people behind the scenes. I've never been one. I love Orville's authenticity. I love the fact that Scentsy is based on authenticity, where yes, there'll be times when you have conversations about other people, but it's never two-faced. You know, anything I would say in private, I would tell somebody, maybe in person and personally, I wouldn't say it out loud. But anyway, that's beside the point. But what they taught was, you will become 5 years from now the books you read, the shows you watch, and the people you hang out with. And so for me on social media, there is a ton of positive out there as well. So I just start focusing on my algorithm and start showing me kind of positive things. And when a negative one shows up, I immediately don't watch it, and I go over to do some positive. And it's so funny because you'll see it fighting you. You'll see it, all of a sudden you'll get 50 things that it'll just start pouring in on you, and you have to be very careful.
He's blaming the social media algorithm on negative thoughts, on manifestation. Wow. You know, I could have had 100,000 subscribers by now if I knew that. Damn.
You're right.
The same ways with any of your thoughts, right? The minute you try to do something positive, everything will come against you. Because whether it's a belief in God or whether it's just nature, there's something about our existence as human beings that the minute we strive for something greater than ourselves, opposition just seems to pour in. And it's easy, right? Opposition has no basis in anything. It has all power because it takes no responsibility. And so minding your brain is super, super important.
I love that, Chuck, too. A lot of people, what they started doing is if there's people or things that they don't like that they're negative, you can just mute it. So then the algorithm knows that this is not something that you like. And then so if your feed is just all negative, go and search funny animals, and go follow a bunch of those pages, motivational, entrepreneurs, go follow them. And then the algorithm's like, oh, this is what you like. But what happens is like me.
That's actually like a task. That's not manifesting. You are literally going to do that. However, that exact task works really well. Like I said, I have conditioned my Instagram feed by doing exactly those things. And I didn't have to manifest it. I just did the things on my phone. I pushed the buttons.
I'll get caught in a negative video, like a doomsday scrolling scenario. And then all of a sudden, I'm in that algorithm, and now I'm attracting it all onto my Facebook. So I've had to do a really good clean out, because you're right. We are the 5 people we hang out with, and same thing online.
And then your friends get all of that.
Exactly.
So anyway, I bring up the compassionate capitalism, where when you have a downline that is your reason for success, you are foolish to do things that will hurt them in the long run. That's us at the home office. We would be fools. And we have sometimes we've made mistakes that have hurt you.
Again, this was before the layoffs that we have not discussed yet. Not a year before, not 2 years before, not 10 years before, weeks before the layoffs that we're about to discuss. But okay, you never do anything to hurt your consultants. Nothing. Never.
And we've tried to create those, but we would never do those on purpose. Who remembers New Coke? Maybe you guys are all too young. So there was a time when Coca-Cola got a new CEO. And it was when I was a teenager. And they came out and said, we're abandoning old Coca-Cola formula. We're creating this new Coke. And it tasted more like Pepsi. And it was an absolute disaster. I mean, their sales went down so bad that they came out and they came back with their old formula, and they called it Coca-Cola Classic. So for a time, you could get new Coke and you could get Coca-Cola Classic. And it skyrocketed Coke way above Pepsi. So the CEO was asked one time, okay, you guys did that on purpose, didn't you? You did that to get more, you did that to sell more Coke. And he goes, we're not that smart and we're not that dumb. That's sort of us, right?
This is hilarious.
This is just so funny. I don't even have the word. It's such a twisted knot to untie. Is he comparing Coca-Cola's recipe change that didn't go over well to sending free PR boxes to influencers who don't even know what Scentsy is or how it works? Because not even the same library, let alone the same book.
We make decisions that kind of come out of the blue, and they're like, well, that was super successful, or that was really hurtful. Most of those aren't, obviously you would never on purpose hurt your brand, ever.
Your brand. You would never on purpose hurt your brand. Not you would never on purpose hurt the people that built your brand. You would never hurt your brand on purpose.
You just doesn't make any sense. For us, you guys are the brand. And so everything we're doing, you see your numbers. You see the Scentsy as a whole. We see the numbers. We see that when we do our surveys, fewer and fewer people know about Scentsy. And it's not that you aren't doing your work. It's that you're a smaller group. And so it's just not getting out there like it used to.
You're a smaller group because more people have left Scentsy because they have realized that, well, maybe Scentsy just run its course as an MLM. Maybe that's what it is, because that seems to be what happens with multi-level marketing. So when we're talking about all of the MLMs from the early 2000s that have switched to affiliate or have gone under completely.
And so while we wait for it to come back,
pivot,
there are things that we have to do to sort of augment what we're doing. Now, we look at it and go, you guys were way more upset than what it turned out. It's not a great program. It's great to get new learnings from the audiences that some of these influencers have, but they're micro influencers.
They didn't even bring it up. He just awkwardly started talking about it, unless they cut that part out.
I mean, anyway, I won't get into that too much, but there are things we're doing that in the end benefit all of you.
How the does giving out hundreds of dollars of free ex-Scentsy licensed products benefit the current consultants that are having trouble recruiting and selling? How the does that influencer program that wasn't even that good anyway benefit the consultants? Explain that. He can't. None of them can. We don't have an explanation for that yet. These consultants deserve an explanation. Since in the beginning of all this, especially the consultants that have been here a while, they were told this is their business. There should be some level of transparency in your own business, shouldn't there?
I was talking, and one of the things we got to figure out a way to understand is revenue into Scentsy, if you aren't personally involved in it, is still a great thing for everybody.
What? The way they twisted this is wild. Chuck, do you believe yourself?
And when you are personally involved in signing somebody up, building a team, making a sale, you're absolutely compensated for that. And it's still the engine that runs. But if we can figure out a way to maybe bring in some other revenue that buoys up the company, that helps pay for overhead, helps pay for bigger incentives and those kind of things.
He wants his influencers to pay for his consultants' incentives, or you want us to believe that's what you want?
I hope that the idea that that's somehow harming the you guys, the consultants,
but Chuck,
will be dismissed a bit.
I don't understand why people would ever think that. Like, if you think you are working for a company that's going to generate a bunch of income and you're not going to benefit from it, why are you here? Why would you be part of a company that you feel that way? So
I feel like, Anick, you feel that way deep down also. Something's telling me, allegedly, and in my own opinion.
It doesn't make sense to me. Like, obviously, whatever Scentsy's doing is going to be for its greater good and greater for us because they're going to make more money, better incentive, better product, better planning, better workstation. It just makes more sense.
I will say, this is where I'm like, we need to be compassionate with that thinking and help them through it, because it really comes down, and we started off feeding our brains. When we are mistrusting, there isn't a single activity that somebody can do that we don't run it through a filter of mistrust. And a lot of people have been burned.
Is there anyone in the world that doesn't have some kind of mistrust filter?
Trust no one.
I feel like we've all been through some shit, right? I don't trust my fucking pinky toe. I don't trust hardly anything anymore. And it's okay to research things to make sure somebody is telling you what the truth is, especially when you're giving them your money.
I mean, you guys, as consultants, you see what's happening to your friends in other companies. And so you look at the actions that they took, and those businesses bailed on their consultants. They went to single payer. They didn't give options. They just said it's this or that. A lot of that is because they didn't have choice, because they have investors. We're fortunate that we just have Orville and Heidi. But for the most part, so
imagine if they did have investors. In fact, they do have investors. Their investors are the consultants. The consultants are not only the investors and the people who built Scentsy from the ground up, but they're also investors because they're continuously paying for their website, they're paying for their catalogs, their business supplies. That money is all going directly to Scentsy. And then on top of that, they're purchasing their products for full price most times. Sure, they get a rebate in a month when they get their paycheck, but they are literally the ones that have invested the most into this company, in my opinion. When you're talking about hundreds of thousands of people who have joined as consultants and paid for those monthly website dues and paid for the scent of the month or the warmer of the month, and all that money again goes to Scentsy corporate. Be careful who you're listening to when they're trying to wash away your concerns.
There's a lot of people, and this is where I try to be really super compassionate, there's a lot of people that are looking at that going, oh no, we need both sides.
Okay, good.
Believe me, I want to call people onto. What I want to do, Morlo, is just shake them and say, please just trust me.
Yeah.
We are trustworthy. you will be much happier if you just trust. But
you've proven that you're not. You have been sending free boxes of products that have been sold out on the website for people to sell to their customers for free to people with a following to benefit Scentsy corporate, not the consultants, because now these people are buying without a consultant being tied to their account. How is this helping consultants?
I liken this a little bit too, because you see friends that have happened. You see half-truths and outright lies being told by ex-consultants about situations. We can't come out and say what the truth is because it's private.
It shouldn't be private like that. These types of things shouldn't be private. These things, when they are private, in my opinion, when you're talking about a multi-level marketing company, it's a red flag because they're also telling you that you own your own business and there's shady shit going on behind the scenes that you have no idea about, and your entire team and your entire business can disappear in the next 5 minutes and you have no say in it. So yes, they have every right to know, at the very least, that there is an affiliate program going on behind the scenes that consultants have zero to do with. Whether it's a testing, whatever it is, they have a right to know. They have invested time and money more probably than Chuck, Heidi, and Orville combined. They deserve to know.
But it's just easy to say those things. But if you're in that situation, I liken it to you have your best friend and your best friend's husband walked out on him, cheated on him, right? And so you're talking to your best friend and she's saying, well, I wish I would have seen this warning sign. I wish I would have seen this warning sign. I wish I would have seen this warning sign. Well, your spouse is absolutely faithful.
That's aggressive. That is an aggressive topic. That is an aggressive comparison to make. You're talking about marriage and a multi-level marketing company. What am I missing?
100%. And yet he has some of the same behaviors that the ex had of your friend. And so you begin to start thinking, oh, and then how does he say that's not me?
No, because it's totally different. Again, multi-level marketing companies are all structurally set up the same way in the sense that you make more money when you have a larger team below you, when you have people making sales below you. You can't change that. They're all like that. And you're a multi-level marketing company today, as it stands, March 10th, 2026. So there are reasons that people should not be trusting of Scentsy because it's a multi-level marketing company, which is an unethical business practice, in my opinion. And most people lose money because they're too busy investing into the company that they don't even own.
Right.
When you allow your brain to be fed by people that feel like they've been cheated.
They have, in fact, been cheated. Ask the people who feel like they've been cheated.
There are a million valid reasons.
These consultants are putting videos out telling you how they feel. They feel cheated. They are here. Those people exist. You can't just say it's a lie. Those people feel that, and that's enough. That's all you have to hear. You can't just go around saying they're lying. It doesn't work like that, especially not right now. It's time for some answers. These consultants and ex-employees now deserve it.
It will cause you to have mistrust, misguided in a direction where you should absolutely trust. And so we hear a lot of this, I'm just going to call it what it is, a lot of this crap about everything we're doing is so that we go single level. Or we go affiliate, or whatever that means.
Whatever that means. They're all pretending like they don't know what going affiliate means. It's diabolical to me. Like, don't play fucking stupid. If you've done any level of market research in business at all, you immediately know what an affiliate program is. And if they truly don't know what an affiliate model is, that's a huge red flag, as any business should know what an affiliate program is.
It's just such nonsense. Because any company that's done that isn't successful.
Done what? An affiliate program? I didn't think you knew what that was.
No, because you're taking away all the people. Because, for example, I have a bunch of links where I can be an affiliate and make 10%, but it's not enough. It's not enough for people to actually make an income on it.
Exactly, which is why you need a team.
You're saying the quiet part out loud, I think.
And you're spending all your time and all this energy where it wouldn't be for me a good idea, obviously, but we like you said, we have, the more involved we are, the more dedicated we are, the more then you want to do more. And obviously the more another thing too, Chuck, that I like that's what's happening is that there's so much opportunities online now to make money, but like 3% might be working.
Where exactly is your research for that?
There's so much crap out there.
And I think we said, anyway.
There was a big part cut there, and I don't know what was in there.
Of that, as of Friday, and it isn't going to get any better, how many orders do you think came into Scentsy using those codes?
Too many.
Put a number in the chat. I'm curious what the perception is out there on how many orders came into Scentsy.
Why do you think they would know? You were so not transparent about this little game you played with influencers that they have no fucking idea.
For all of those 30, 40 influencers sharing a coupon code.
And keep in mind, these people have millions of followers, some of them. Hundreds of thousands
No,
of
none
followers.
of them had those. These are all micro ones.
Okay.
These are all
They had the ones that I saw had between 20,000 and 100,000, 110,000 followers, which is a great following, especially if they're engaged.
Micros, they had 2,000, 2,500. They were essentially what a lot of you guys have as followers.
Oh.
So we do these as a test.
Then why not, okay, if they're essentially the same amount of followers, if you're truly testing this, you would need to also test giving the same products to your consultants with the same following to see what kind of interaction they got. That would be necessary to effectively test this theory that an influencer program might work. You would need to try it with your own consultants if you're trying to prove that it's not going to work. What are we doing?
Okay.
To see their audiences behave differently than a consultant's audience. Is there maybe a somewhere else that they can go?
Looks like it's
you guys are guessing pretty good.
Yeah.
So it went about as viral as something could within the community. Even you guys shared the links. But anyway, as of the last time we looked, there were 20 at that same time.
Yeah, we don't know. They cut out the amount. I don't know if he said 20,000, 200. It was 2 something, 1,200. I don't know. But their test has failed now. They can no longer run this test because the consultants know about the codes. They found out that these influencer codes can be used on their website, on their PWS through their linked shop. So they have been pushing the codes out. So now those numbers are no longer going to give them any kind of information from the point that the consultants found out and started giving the codes to their customers. So, whoops.
At that same time that was out there, we probably had 1,000 consultants and they didn't get paid for it. We probably had 1,000 consultants that sold thousands of orders.
And I bet you those consultants that sold thousands of orders, okay, made less than what half the boxes were worth that were getting sent out. Just saying.
Right. At the same time, we got 20 for this. Why would we ever abandon our consultants? You guys are just, you're the engine.
It looks more like your consultants are abandoning you because of the shit you keep pulling.
So, but we do have a responsibility to do the things only we can do, right? There's certain things that the corporation can do on behalf of everybody that we can't necessarily, that individual consultants can't do.
No, they can't do it, but they should have insight into what the is going on behind the scenes. Could you imagine if a customer went up to a consultant who has been working with this customer for a long time and was like,
do you have a code? Because I saw this influencer had a code, a discount code. Do you have that? Can I use that with you?
Could you imagine how blindsided that consultant would have felt? And then they would have looked like an idiot because they wouldn't have had an answer because they didn't know about the influencer program. That's the issue. Okay. You're making these consultants look like assholes, like fucking fools.
Right. And now you guys can go out there and try to find an influencer. What's that called? What's it called when you go out to get somebody to share your link?
Oh, like you're selling.
It's a host.
Oh yeah, that thing.
Yeah, host.
It's a host, right? You've been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's all an influencer is.
Oh, so since now you're just hosting parties with influencers, it's okay? What?
That will share your link as a host.
It's true.
And a lot of consultants are very successful with that. Now, if a lot of people were like, and this is where I completely understand this, hey, wait a minute, I'm over here busting my butt and you won't send me a free Scent Circle. What? Where's my free product to showcase? That's a very legitimate question to ask. And the answer is we're not paying them.
Right.
You gave them $400 to $500 worth of free product over and over again. Some of them got 4 boxes full of Scentsy. You paid them.
So we give them a little bit of product and we hope we recover the cost of that product. For you guys, it is all compensation. We want to pay you.
Yeah.
And so if we give a lot of stuff away to you.
Again, they can make more off of selling the shit you sent them for free on Poshmark than these consultants can make in one sale, in one party, in 1 month.
We also can't pay you for that stuff. So anyway.
Yeah. And that's all.
Getting too deep, but still.
No, but that stuff is just like, you could also spend $120,000 on a commercial, a 30-second commercial, or you can pay for ad space on, like, everything costs money. So this didn't cost money. It just cost product, which, you have a profit margin. So it's actually less. It's actually better to give out products for people to showcase all our new products with a new design. It's just way smarter to do it like that. And I don't know about anyone else here. I get a ton of free Scentsy.
Because you're at the top. That's exactly how you get a ton of free Scentsy. You're at the top, so you've gathered customers and consultants alike. So you have parties open and you take the free and half price stuff for yourself. Because again, you're at the top and you can do that more often than the consultants who are not at the superstar director level. I'm over this, you guys. I'm so over it. Okay, really quickly, I want to address something that happened. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of it, but something that happened at the Scentsy end of month call for February of 2026. First of all, I wasn't expecting them to have an end of month live call at all. I didn't think they would. They did, but they didn't say one thing about anything that the consultants are wanting to know about. They just rambled and talked. It was boring. It was uneventful. No questions were answered. However, we can confirm Orville has no fucking filter and he just doesn't care. Let's listen to what he has to say about India.
We gotta make a fragrance for the India trip. That
yeah. Carnations and cow urine.
Did he really just say that?
No, India does have some amazing.
I think that would be a
fragrances.
top seller there.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Raise your hand if a quick Google search showed you that cows are sacred animals in India. If you just search cows, India, AI overview will tell you cows are deeply revered as sacred, mother-like figures in India, primarily within Hinduism, symbolizing life and earth. So how do you think the people in India might feel about you making comments about India smelling like cow urine? It's very much in line with our top Scentsy leader that said that Korea was a stinky country. Please don't do that. Props to Owen for being like, no, India has great sense also. Like, shut up, you moron. And I'm not even sorry. You went to India and you didn't know that cows were a sacred animal? The ignorance is spewing from your pores while you sit here and tell the anti-mlm community that we have no idea what we're talking about. Okay. All right, dude. All right. I know at least to Google something before I walk around saying a country is stinky. Now let's talk about the layoffs. And then I think that's all for this video. I think everything else is worth a little bit more digging before I go run in my mouth. But I have some more tips that I am digging on. I just need to validate before I just spew them to the world. So the layoffs were unexpected. Thank you to the tip I got that early that morning before the layoffs were even announced. I found out that about 90 people were being laid off from Scentsy Corporate in Meridian, Idaho. Now, I think it was about 4 or 5 hours after I got that email, there were articles saying that Scentsy has again laid off 11% of their workforce in Meridian, Idaho, but things are good and they're making improvements for consultants. But the entire consultant training department was laid off? That doesn't track. Not to me, not to any of the consultants, not to the employees that were laid off. I did a lot of digging. I found who was laid off, who was also said to instead be retiring, coincidentally the same day they announced the layoffs. It's not good. It's all of the consultant training team, all of them. Okay. Deb Bowden, the one that said we, as the anti-mlm community and the people speaking out against what Scentsy is doing to their consultants, we were trying to connect desperate dots, but she is no longer with a job. Whether she has decided to retire or she was included in the layoff, we'll never know 100% for sure, but she is said to be retiring alongside Mark Stastny that has been with Scentsy for a very long time. Mark Stastny was the chief marketing officer. Now, it's important to note the roles that were let go in relation to the roles that were given to their children. And that's all I'll say right there. And again, Mark was said to be retiring, so maybe he wasn't laid off. The people who were laid off and didn't quote unquote retire the same day of the layoffs were the consultant training team. The entire consultant training team was let go. They were laid off. Subsequently, the day after the layoffs, Scentsy had a consultant call with some superstar directors, not all of them, and it wasn't recorded, so there's no recording for the superstar directors that didn't get to make it. They're just left in the dark, having to find out information from their peers if they still get along, as long as they're not being negative. Anyway, that's beside the point. They had a call the next morning after the layoffs, announcing the layoffs, as well as announcing Mark and Deb's retirement the same day. So they were notified, the superstar directors that were on this call were notified about what happened. They were filled in about Mark and Deb retiring and then told that they were now basically responsible for all of the training responsibilities, since that's how it used to be. So they have taken on those roles, and consultants have been leading Spark sessions instead of the training team that was very unexpectedly let go. The ones who have been fighting for the consultants, the ones who have been fighting for the business model, they were let go. Just remember that. Don't forget it. It's important to remember if you're trying to make a decision on whether you should leave Scentsy or not. The next group of people that were let go were IT. That doesn't sound too important. However, I dug a little deeper.
Of course you did.
And a lot of them were IT that worked on the workstation. The workstation is the platform for the Scentsy consultants. Not the influencers, not the affiliates, the consultants. Interesting, because the superstar directors cannot take over that responsibility. You guys, it's crashing and burning, and we're just here for the show.
That was obnoxious.
I'm sorry, it won't happen again.
With that said, I also want to say, be mindful of the people who are trying to make the decision to either leave Scentsy or stay with Scentsy, keep buying Scentsy, stop buying Scentsy, whatever the case may be. Remember that the people tangled into these MLMs are also victims. The real people we want to be looking at are the people like Chuck, like Heidi, like Orville, those people calling the shots behind the scenes, keeping the secrets behind the scenes. All that to say, just be kind to the people who are waking up to what they've been put through for the past few years or so. Anyway, we'll be back with more in a couple weeks, I'm sure. Thanks for hanging out with me while I talk a bunch of shit, and I will see you in the next one.